the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Boy, I don't want you to hate me or anything, but it is Groundhog Day, and I certainly hope that back in the great state of Wisconsin, some vermin just saw its shadow, because out here, there's no shadows to be seen. It's sunny, and it's going to be the first 80-degree day of the year. And so we have 6 more weeks of this coming before it warms up. Just thought I'd throw that in on Groundhog Day. Hello there, Todd Bailing in lovely Phoenix, Arizona. PJ is not with us today. She is under the weather. She has lost her voice. And, you know, when you do radio, that's not a good thing. However, we are still joined by the other 2 legs of this tripod today, starting with Brian Schmidt up in Utzberg, Wisconsin. Hi, Brian.
Morning. The shortest offseason in all of sports is over.
Isn't that awesome?
I know.
Dan,
here we go. We're ready to go racing already.
Dan, is the first time in the last 3 weeks he's not calling us from Slinger, I guess, right?
No, I'm back at home right now, but you do realize that there's 6 weeks of winter, no matter if the rodent sees its shadow or not. There's still going to be 6 weeks of winter.
Yeah, last I checked, rodents don't have a degree in meteorology, and they usually really don't know what the heck's going on. So.
Yeah, but, you know, the Farmer's Almanac, man. If the
farmers don't always know that either. I hang around with a lot of them.
You're a part-time farmer, aren't you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fertilizer spreader. Either way, we are racing today, and it's pretty exciting. It's actually tonight, televised on Fox. Comes on at 5 o'clock. The green flag's at 5:20. They'll have a last chance race. I hope you saw it last night. We're kind of counting on that you did, because it was on FS1, and they had their heat races, and it determined the lineup for today, top 20 starters, which, boy, oh boy. I've been told in the past that I'm kind of negative Nelly. And I guess there's good, as far as I can tell here, there's good and there's bad. It's easy to pick the bad out. I hate one-lane racetracks, no matter how you paint it. The only way to pass is to get a guy out of shape and scoot underneath him. That's not racing. Now, on the other hand, 1, it's different. 2, you like action, do you? Well, get ready, because there's going to be action on this track. And all these cars on this flat quarter mile, which is built around a football field, is going to be action no matter how you look at it. But what are the chances that you're going to come from very far back and actually do anything? Chase Elliott will be our pole sitter. Busher on the outside, that's a good run for him. Hamlin third and Reddick fourth. Now, those were the 4 heat winners from last night. My cohorts here are the ones that are keeping me propped up and off the ledge. We're going to have a good show. Right, guys?
Well, show, I think, is the right word. I mean, this is a different form of racing. It's an acquired taste. It's what makes Bowman Gray the madhouse. I mean, you can't race a guy side by side and probably pass him, which is what racing's all about. But if you've seen, I mean, there's a reason that place holds 17,000 people and it's full every week. It's because people want to see action. I mean, it's not WWE style action like the Royal Rumble last night. You're not that far out in left field as far as made up stuff. But then again, it's going to be a different type of racing. It's going to be move the guy out of the way type of stuff. And I think all these drivers know it. And it's gimmicky, yes. But on the other hand, we've been clamoring for years that we want NASCAR to go to a short track. And this is a traditional short track that's been there since the 40s. But it's a different style of racing. So, there's 2 different ways of looking at it, I guess. And I think we just got to enjoy it for what it is. Right, Dan?
Yeah, I think it's for the event. I think it's a pretty good venue to have it. I mean, when I saw it last night, it had plenty of action, and I wouldn't want a point race there, but I think for something like this to kick the season off, I think it's a good way to do it. I like it better than the Coliseum. The Coliseum was cool the first year, and it was kind of faded after that. This place is a dedicated racetrack, and it's kind of right in the heart of the racing country there in North Carolina, and the people kind of expect the kind of racing they got, and that's what it was. Yeah, you got to move somebody, but for an exhibition race, I think that'll ramp up some excitement for the 500.
And it's dripping with history. I mean, the history there is what's the big thing, It is.
It really is. 1971 last time they raced there, which is pretty cool. There was some attempts. There were attempts to pass on the outside last night. Most of them were unsuccessful. However, as our buddy Aaron Baird points out, that Noah Gregson did go 3 wide. However, without a significant amount of contact among the inside 2 that are battling, nobody's passing 3 wide at this place. As a matter of fact, without some contact from behind, it seems like it's going to be hard to pass 2 wide because it's really not meant for 2 wide. That's why they don't race there anymore, guys. I guess it's just too much.
They added safer barrier. They added that for safety measures, so the track's a little narrower than it was before. The outside's kind of there, but it's real easy for the inside guy to run him up in a fence. Just make that space get narrower to the outside wall. So I guess the guy's got to get up. You have to be alongside him enough that you can hammer the gas and stay out there and kind of bulldoze your way by the guy. So,
I mean, I saw Priest do it last night on a restart. They're going to have the choose cone. You're going to have a ton of restarts, and people, can move up several rows on a restart. And the key is, and Priest did it last night. He had a really good restart to the point where you can get, like 3/4 of the way in front of the guy, and then left turn Clyde right in front of him, boom, and get yourself in. That's what you're going to have to be. You're going to have to be rude as hell to get anywhere, and that's what creates the action, though, and that's what the fans are looking for. That they want to see. Some action. And I think if there's not a fight tonight, the fans are going to be disappointed. Yeah,
well, you get the feeling there's going to be. I mean, and the announcers are all, okay, this should create a problem. They're whipping each other off. Oh, I guess that's what the real attraction is here. Now, they raced the modifieds in the afternoon. Geez, guys, I didn't write the guy's name down that won, and he's like one of the winningest drivers.
Chris Fleming.
Chris Fleming.
Fleming. Yep.
That was from the. Wasn't he part of that Madhouse radio show? Pretty significant. TV show.
Yeah, he came up here. He drove Conrad Morgan's car at Slinger. I think John Boy drove one of Dennis Prunty's car, but he's been.
Must have been during my coffee break at Slinger because I didn't see that.
It was, but a lot of guys, I think some guys from Conrad's crew actually went down and helped him out a couple times at some races.
Yeah, no, they're still real good friends, but that's pretty cool that a guy that's won all those races down there did it. But Ryan Priest ran in the modified race in the afternoon, and then they asked him about it. And Brian, I guess he had some pretty interesting pointers.
Yeah, he claimed the Cup cars had more grip than the modifieds did. I don't know if it's because they put more rubber on the track. And then the Cup cars are more forgiving. A modified, you're running an open wheel car on that really narrow track. You hit the wall, you're going to, wreck your right front tire and stuff like that. These Cup cars are going to bounce off of it. So from what I heard from Priest, he made it sound like if there's going to be better racing, there's a chance the Cup cars may produce the better racing. So that's what we're hoping for. Really hard to say. I mean, you only had 10 cars on the track at a time during those heat races, so you didn't get into traffic. I think the best case scenario for seeing some pretty exciting racing is going to be when the full field of 20, I think they're starting 23 or 24 cars, are all out there together, and you're able to get some green flag runs and get into traffic. And that's when you're the leader, and you got guys in front of you. What are you going to do? You go to the high side, you risk losing your spot, and the second place guy will have a chance. I think that's when you're going to get some pretty decent racing. The key is, though, getting a longer green flag run. Hopefully we can get to that point.
Yeah, no kidding. This program today, I hope you watched last night, and I hope you have an opinion about it, because we'd love to hear it at 414-421-7901. Also, later in the program, the 2025 Team Bonafide roster will be announced on this program by Mr. Bonafide himself. Mike Egan will be joining us a little later on. So lots to happen today. Glad you joined us. Racing is back. Woohoo! We'll be back right after these.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The new episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available to listen to right now. Wayne and Matt talk to Tom Hamilton, Waterloo native and voice of the Cleveland Guardians. This July, Tom will be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. Remember, every episode of the Larrabee and LePay podcast is available anytime on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Presented by UW Credit Union. Here for every you.
Yeah, those podcasts turn out to be a pretty important thing because for one reason or another, we're not on the air on WOKY, Fox Sports 920. So make sure that you tell your friends. iHeart, iTunes, all major platforms. Don't forget, PJ's outstanding program, Racing Nuggets, features this race announcer from Slinger Speedway on this current edition, which would be, me. That was the last one she did, and it's still running apparently. So it's tune in. You get to find out all the deep, dirty secrets you wanted to know about me, and there are no deep, dirty secrets here. You hear what it is, no matter what you think. I see that NASCAR has adopted the SRX Series strategy of adding local drivers to the field because since it's not a points race anyway, why not spice it up for the locals? And they add Burt Myers and Tim Brown. By the way, I've heard of Burt Myers before, and I don't follow the racing at this Bowman Gray that closely, but Tim Brown, he's 53 years old. He has 101 wins at this track. That's more than Al Schill has at Slinger Speedway, if you can believe that. Plus, he has 12, count them, 12 championships. He's the perfect guy to add to the field. Did I hear that right, that this guy works for the 50 team or that
Rick Ware?
Rick Ware.
Oh, Ware Racing. Yeah, he's a fabricator. Did he build this car himself?
Yep.
Yeah, I think were they preparing the 50 car or something for helping that team out for Burt Myers, and I thought he worked in a shop or something and said, "Hey, how come he's got a
maybe
car?"
that was it. Well,
Said,
yeah,
"Well, you can drive the 15 if you want that."
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and before Rick Ware, I forget when they actually had the Madhouse program on.
He worked for Michael Waltrip. He worked for.
That's
Michael
it. Yep. Yep. So he's always been working in the Cup Series, working in the garage and stuff, and then he's a weekend warrior that races on the weekends with his modified. I don't remember, Dan. I haven't seen if he takes his modified out and runs any other races. I mean, we've never seen him at New Smyrna, and I don't know if he runs many of the Whelen Modified Tour races. I think he just sticks to Bowman Gray.
Yeah, I think it's just there. Burt Myers will go off to some of the traveling races once in a while.
Yes, yeah, we've seen him at New Smyrna before, and he ran that. It's probably over 10 years ago now when they ran that thing on the backstretch at Daytona, that failed attempt for 2 years. Burt Myers was at that race as well. But yeah, Tim Brown pretty much just sticks there, but he's accomplished.
But 100 wins and 12 championships. I mean, that's a hell of a resume at this track. So, and he has his fans. The announcers were pointing out just exactly, so Brown and Myers are great rivals, and when one pulls out, half of the fans all cheer, and then when Myers comes out, the other half. It's a pretty neat deal, and they picked a couple of perfect drivers to join the field. Now, the bad news, today, when it comes on Fox at 5 o'clock, we're going to have the last chance race. What is it, 2 drivers are going to advance from that thing?
Yep.
Top 2 and 1 provisional. So only 3 cars getting out of that last chance race. And right now, some big names aren't in the show, like Ryan Blaney and Kyle Larson.
Kyle Larson?
Blaney's got the provisional right now. So if he doesn't finish in the top 2, the provisional will go to Blaney. If he does finish in the top 2, the provisional will go to Larson. So those are the 2 that are, have a shot for making that provisional. But everybody else is going to have to finish top 2, and a lot of guys are starting back there.
Yeah, a lot of guys are right. It's a 75 lapper too for top 2 to move on. I mean, that's pretty major stuff. Ty Gibbs was fastest in the early practice, and he didn't make the race. It's a little bit like dirt racing, is it? It seems to me that the way this format is totally copying dirt racing, and you can have a good car and not make the show completely, which is kind of where Gibbs is right now. Am I wrong?
Yeah. I mean, he gets a good spot here for the LCQ. You got Ty Dillon, Zane Smith on the front row, and then Gibbs, Michael McDowell, row 2. So Gibbs is going to have a shot. He's going to be right up in the front there, but Kyle Larson's got to start 10th. Now, you have 75 laps, and he's going to have to use his horn a lot to make his way up there. But, I mean, other names up there, A.J. Allmendinger starting 8th. Eric Jones is 6th. Burt Myers starts 15th. Tim Brown's going to start shotgun on the field there, 19th. Ryan Blaney starts 17th. So I think Ryan Blaney knows he's got the provisional, so I wouldn't see a whole lot of action out of him. So Larson's going to have to go. So what we're really going to see here is how bad does Larson want it? Yesterday in the heat race, you could tell he had a good run early in it. Got going, then he got shoved up out of the way, and he kind of was just like, well, it is what it is, and there were no cautions, and you couldn't really make up any ground. Larson is the type of guy where if he knows he can do something, you're going to see him get up on the wheel and go. Is he going to have that in this race? I don't know. Is he? How hard is he going to want it? That's the question.
75 laps. It's a good long last chance race with lots of action, which is what they're looking for today. And then they will go to the rear of the field. Now, there's 20 cars, and so 22 cars plus a provisional for a total of 23 cars start on this quarter-mile track, a flat quarter-mile, and they're going to race for 200 laps.
Mm-hmm.
With the break at halfway, right, to work on your car if you want? Do you change tires or no?
Oh, that I don't know. I don't know the exact rules on it. It's very similar to what the modifieds to start their season in April when they get their regular season started. The modifieds run a 200 lapper there to start it, so it's not uncommon. I think back when the K&N series ran there, which was probably over 10 years ago, Ben Kennedy was the winner of that race. Ironically enough, I think that one was like a 150 lapper. So they do that quite often here with these longer races.
It's a fun track to go to. I used to go to the
You've been there too, haven't you?
Yeah. After back then the Busch race and Xfinity in the later years, after that race on Saturday, I'd trek up to Bowman Gray. It's about an hour from Charlotte and check it out. And it was a lot of fun. The people were excited. They were very impressed that somebody from Wisconsin come all the way to look at their racetrack. And I'm like, I heard about this place. I want to check it out. And they were very friendly. It was a good time. I did it every year. I was at the 600.
I believe they put huge crowds in there on Saturday nights, don't they?
They do. Yeah. I mean, they packed that
10,000 people every week?
It's part of that city. It's all part of that whole town and everything. It's a big deal. I mean, what happens?
And only $12 admission. That helps too.
Really?
$12. Mm-hmm.
The purse today is a little over $3 million, by the way. I thought I'd throw that in for your. I doubt it's $12 admission. They're fighting over raising admission prices too, right? Because they got to make it somewhere. Oh well.
Yesterday was only $25 to get in, and you got to see the modified race, and then the practice qualifying and the heat races. So that was pretty economical yesterday for people to go on. I mean, where else can you see cup cars on a track for $25? Probably not anywhere else, really.
Yeah, no kidding. And there were races. It was good stuff. What the hell? Let's just hope the racing is good too. We'll be right back.
From From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs, all backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Pass to the near circle and Bjork will score. The Milwaukee Admirals return from the All-Star break with a pair of games at Panther Arena. Down there, keeps the puck, got to Ralston near circle. He goes to the slot, shoots and scores! Friday night, the Admirals host Grand Rapids at 7 p.m. Pre-game at 6:30 on Fox Sports 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Race season for NASCAR starts tonight. They did have a test at Rockingham, Brian. I believe there were trucks and Xfinity cars there, and all I really recall is that Ty Majeski was the fastest of the trucks.
Yes, he was. Yeah, and he obliterated the old track record from there when they were out there the last time.
But that'll do it.
Yes, that'll do it. So, yeah, there's a lot of momentum going for that event coming up that's Easter weekend there. So both the Xfinity and the Cup, I believe all of the cars were there. Casey Keene was there turning a couple laps. I didn't see a whole lot of actual times from what they were doing other than what they were saying. I don't know if they had a lot of timing and scoring going on there for that weekend, but a lot of rave reviews. A lot of guys said it raced really good. A lot of people out there running laps, some different people in the different cars there. Carson Quapple driving the one car for Junior Motorsports this year. Don't forget he's got a full ride with them. So it's going to be exciting to see how that race turns out, and hopefully the fans turn out for it. I know a lot of buzz about it. So let's see if they actually creates the big crowd that you're looking for to get that place back up and going again.
It's the first time Sam Mayer raced. What is it, the 41 he's in?
Yeah,
he's running one of the Haas cars.
I think he's fun. Kind of kissed the fence, too. I mean, nothing hard. Had an issue.
The master marketer, Josh Bilicki, who is Wisconsin's pretty much one and only racer in the NASCAR series. He's going to drive in the Xfinity series. He is so good at finding sponsors. He went to Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Never heard of it myself. It's not anyway. Rita's Italian Ice and Frozen Custard he finds in Bensalem, Pennsylvania, and that is going to be his sponsor this year for the Xfinity Series, and we'll see Josh on a pretty regular basis. And, oh, by the way, congratulations to Josh and his wife, Caitlin, who welcomed their son this week, Cole Michael Bilicki, who was born Wednesday. Congratulations to them. It's an awesome day for anybody. By the way, that team... that number 91 Xfinity team is owned by Mario Gosselin. If you remember that name, he's been around. First of all, he still races, I know, because I just saw him race in that event at the Freedom Factory on Thanksgiving weekend down in Florida, and he didn't spin and didn't do anything. But this guy has been racing a long time. I think he's so old. He's damn near my age. I'm pretty sure
Wasn't he like a Hooters Pro Cup guy? Isn't that where he really got his name back in the old Hooters series?
Yeah, and he's had that Xfinity team for quite a while now. That's the 91, 92 cars. And maybe there's 36 a part of that at one point too. I think, but yeah, I mean, and that Rita's is a pretty big company. I mean, they've had a lot of stores. They're not here in Wisconsin, but other states they have a pretty significant, footprint in places, and that's a pretty big deal. And we talked to Josh in Phoenix, and they came on as kind of like a test thing, and they were very happy with it, and they signed up for more.
Yeah, they signed up for one race at Pocono, he told us, which is obviously that's where he got it for, was for a race in Pocono because it's not far from that area. And they were really happy with the results of it, and they're the ones that approached him about doing more stuff. So he said he was very surprised, and he was pleased with it, and they looked on branching out and getting their name out to everybody. So Josh is a hell of a marketer.
The first time I saw that was on that show Undercover Boss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's where I first heard it. That's why when he was on the car, I actually knew what it was because of that other program.
It's such an important part. Marketing yourself is such an important part of racing now that we should probably have Josh on the program give us a little bit of a taste of what it's like and how do you go and get yourself money to race. And he has made it into a art form, I swear.
I think it's false. A lot of it is just sending him a cold call, just
really?
Call him up and sending him something. That's what a lot of this does. And we were in Daytona a couple years ago. Remember that, Brian? That guy was there. We didn't know who he was. And after he left, and Josh was like, that's the guy that runs
Soap guy, right?
Soap guy, yeah. He makes $8 million a year selling soap out of his apartment, and he's going to be on my race car. How did you find this? And they just sent him a message out of the blue and said, hey, you want to be a part of this? And that's how it got the ball rolling.
Every bit as important, perhaps more important than your ability to drive a car is to be able to go find a sponsor so you can drive a car. And that's let's make a point of having Josh give us some pointers of how you do that sort of thing. How do you go and find in some city I never heard of in Pennsylvania a place that sells Italian ice and have them sponsor you in Xfinity Series? He knows the answer to that question. Who would have thought? So pretty neat.
That Buckingham test that we were talking about. Luke Fenhouse drove one of the Thor Sport trucks, and he was 13th.
13th fast, not bad.
Yeah, and there's talk he might be running that truck a couple times this year, so we'll see how that works out. There's I've heard some rumblings that he may be able to run a handful of truck races again this year, so that would be cool.
No, that's of course the team that Johnny Sauter drove for. I wonder if they have any extra trucks for him to drive.
Ty Majeski's team. That's Ty's team.
Yeah, it sure is. Interesting. Well, we'll hope and see what Johnny shows up sometimes. He finds himself in a race. I didn't know he was even going to be there. I don't even know if he knows he's going to be there half the time. He answers the phone and jumps on a plane, and that's pretty cool to be able to do that. And it's cool that they call him too after all this time.
Sometimes those trucks, Brian, are more to be really leave a lot to be desired, right?
Yes. Sometimes they call up Johnny and say, you want to drive the truck? And he says, sure. And then he finds out who sponsors it, and he says, no. So we'll see. Sometimes guy calls him and keeps calling him, and wants him to drive a truck, and he shows up, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing in this truck. And then, like last year, he drove a Thor Sport truck, and that was a good deal. So you never know what you're going to get with him. But it's getting late here now. Pretty soon, if Johnny was going to be in Daytona this year, one would think he probably would have gotten a phone call already. But the 66 truck, I don't know who's driving the 66 truck at Daytona this year. I have not seen an entry list yet for Thor Sport. So maybe it'll be Luke, maybe it'll be Johnny, maybe it'll be someone we don't even know.
Remember that one year? When you're that truck without a tetanus shot.
Yes,
that was the greatest line. If I were you guys, I wouldn't stand too close to that truck without getting a tetanus shot.
He says, I said, Johnny, who's your crew chief? I don't know. We're standing on pit road for qualifying, and the guys come up to us and go, hey, Johnny, where is he? He's got to qualify soon. I'm like, he should be coming.
Yeah.
Hey, if this goes back, you pick me up from Halifax? I remember that one.
Yes.
Hey, Speaking of marketing yourselves, the team Bonafide is a pretty big deal for sponsorship around the short tracks of Wisconsin, and we're going to announce with the man himself, Mike Egan, who's getting those sponsorships when we come back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Ready? Go Birds, baby. Eagles! Let's go, Philly! I want Andy Reid. How about this team? Your team's in the Super Bowl. What could be better?
One hell of a journey, boy.
Amazing.
The game is heading to New Orleans for Super Bowl week. All shows every day.
Is this where the party's at?
Milwaukee's home for Super Bowl 59 is 97.3 The Game.
That's perfect music for an announcement, isn't it? You know him, perhaps, as the driver of car number 89 at the Slinger Speedway, although we haven't seen him as much in a race car as we would like the last couple of years. But, of course, from Bonafide Security Solutions, our good friend Mike Egan joins us right now. Mike, this is a pretty big deal for the drivers and for Bonafide also, correct?
Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks for having me. Yeah, it really is.
And give us an idea how many people apply for the Team Bonafide sponsorship.
This year it was just short of about 200. I think it was 190-something.
Oh, my God. That's pretty impressive. And how many actual sponsorships are you going to announce today?
Well, you know, it always varies because we always have, our anchor members, and we always have a few returning members to help the new people to get with the program. But there's a total of about 24.
Okay, outstanding. And without further ado, geez, I don't know, Matt, we should have had a drum roll ready for this one. I never thought of that. It's time for the announcement for Team Bonafide.
Well, here we go, folks. So, everybody that applied really is deserving of it, and it's quite overwhelming, We ask a series of questions and everything, and it's tough to decide, who actually makes the team, because everybody, honestly, is deserving of being on the team. But it boils down to the answers of the question and how the 4 people on the panel vote. So, you ready? Here we go.
All right.
The anchor members obviously are Nick Egan, Hunter Cardinal, Johnny DeAngelis, and Mitch Haver. This year, returning members of the team from last year are Shane Barr, Lincoln Kane, Logan and Aiden Prunty, Tyler Ramatka, and Rachel Callis. And then new members this year to the team are Carl Gannett, Tyler Netkovin, Tracy New, Jeff Steenberg, Jeff Storm, Simon Seifert, Tyler Vinitich, Lexi Getz, Trevor Rasky, Justin Painich, Hunter Graham, Hayden Kostica, and Mac Miller.
Well, congratulations to all those team Bonafide team members. I see that it's not all just young, up-and-coming racers you have on that list. And then in parentheses,
there's a couple old goats in there, like Jeff Storm.
How cool is that?
It really boils down to how they answer the question, their social media presence, how they can help us with our marketing. And quite honestly, Jeff Storm was one of the only people who was voted on by all 4 people.
Oh, fantastic.
So his was unanimous.
Yeah, he's been, speaking of social media, he's done some absolutely outstanding pieces on Facebook talking about how the 25 car has been moving from race to race and the preparations involved and giving a good shout out to all his sponsors. So that's pretty awesome right there. Mike, you got a nice group
Jeff
there.
Does, well, thank you. You know what Jeff does, though, is I think he exemplifies what we're about and trying to teach maybe some younger people about racing and shows them how to work on their cars themselves. And I think that's important in today's world. It
is. And, well, congratulations to you and to all those folks that have been, I was going to say guys, but you got a couple of females in there too, and well-deserving all, I should say.
Well, thank you, and congratulations to everybody that made Team Bonafide this year. Look forward to seeing what the year brings, and can't wait to go racing.
Are you racing yourself this year, my friend?
I am planning on it. The last couple of years I've had a little bit of health issues, and it's kind of kept me out of the car, and Nick keeps me plenty busy working on his cars. So, but yeah, I'm planning on racing several times this year. They're having an Al Gallicky Memorial up at Kaukauna that I'm planning on running, and then I'm going to try and do several other super late races.
Outstanding. Well, you'll see me in your pits with one of your beers in my hand after the races. So
I hope
it's
to
always
see everybody
fun
in
to
the
be around
pits after the races.
Mike, congratulations, and this is really awesome what you do for the Wisconsin racing community, my friend.
Well, thank you, and the racing community is strong and powerful, so I just want to see it keep continuing for years and years and years to come. All
right, thanks a lot. That was Mike Egan from Team Bonafide, and that's pretty cool thing to have, especially have us being able to announce it. That's great, and congratulations to everybody who was named there. Fellas, I don't know if you saw this. Did we talk about IROC returning to Laguna Seca? Have we mentioned that this year yet?
Not this year, no. We talked about how Ray Evernham was taking it over last year, and he took it to Lime Rock last year, but interesting for this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a 4-day show. The IROC series goes to Laguna Seca. For those of you who don't know where that is, and I don't blame you if you don't, because I had to look it up just so I knew, it's east of the Monterey Peninsula, about an hour or so south of San Francisco, San Jose area, and a 4-day show. But listen to the driver lineup. Sounds like the best of SRX, plus they've got Jeff Gordon's going to race. Mark Martin, but we could have asked him about that last week.
Yeah, he was quiet about that last week, wasn't he?
Yeah, no kidding. Bill Elliott, Kenny Schrader, Bobby Labonte are all going to be there.
Andy Sullivan, Scott Pruitt,
yep. So,
and it's it's not just an IROC event. It's a part of the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, which is a huge vintage event. For those of you that are familiar with what we do at Road America with the Brian Redmond Challenge in July, it's very similar to that. In fact, I think it's even a little bit bigger than that. It's a huge vintage event. So there's going to be tons of vintage events here. So it's a perfect place to bring – these are basically vintage IROC cars in there, and to bring these drivers in, I think that's going to really – it's going to be quite the event to check out.
And Laguna Seca is one of the more well-known road courses. It's kind of iconic, isn't it? I mean, that's a track with a corkscrew in it, right?
Yep.
West Coast iconic for sure. That you can say that.
I mean, we're glad if you ever see highlights of an IndyCar race, was that Dan Alex Zanardi took the corkscrew.
Yes.
Oh, that was Oh.
Yes.
Laguna Seca. Was that Herta you passed? Brian Herta?
Yep, Brian Herta. Yep.
I saw that. I actually remember that. I don't know. I must be getting old. Hey, thanks for being here. We're going to come back with some results after this break. Hang in there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The game is heading to New Orleans for Super Bowl week.
We're going to the Super Bowl!
All shows, every day. What could go wrong? Milwaukee's home for Super Bowl 59 is 97.3 The Game.
I want to go to the Super Bowl.
Let's go! We're going to the Super Bowl!
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Busy week of racing as Speed Weeks continue to roll on this week. We'll start on Tuesday night. Needmore Speedway up in Georgia for the Hunt the Front Dirt Late Model Series there. Scary incident with Brian Shirley blowing a motor during a heat race there. His car was engulfed in flames, and fortunately he was able to get out of there, and I think the throttle stuck wide open on there, and he was able to get it out of gear. Real freak.
He was in that car for quite a while it was burned.
Yeah, well, those cars are hard to get out of, and he's not a small individual there. So once they clean that all up, Hudson O'Neill grabbed the feature win there, and at $10,000 to go along with that. Monday night they were supposed to run there, but it rained out. Move on to Thursday night. We'll go out to West Coast first, Casa Grande, Arizona, for the Central Arizona Speedway. The late models, as they wrapped up the Ernie Mincy early thaw there, Tyler Peterson won in the late models. The modifieds went to Troy Morris III. Back to Florida, Barberville, Florida, for Volusia Speedway Park. The Dirt Car Nationals kicked off their 3-week run with the ASCS 360 Sprint Car Series. The World Racing Group purchased that racing series last year now, so the first time they made the appearance there. Justin Peck grabbed the win there. From Wisconsin, Scotty Thiel made his appearance there in a new team, driving a 51 car out of the Michigan area. He finished 8th in his debut. There were 57
That's
cars
pretty
there.
good.
Yes, 57 cars there, so a good run for him. UMP Modifieds, I believe they had 68 cars there on Thursday night. Kurt Spalding grabbed the win. Over in Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, the big half mile, $10,000 to win, and Ricky Thornton Jr. picked up the win after Devin Moran had a flat tire on the last lap. So unfortunate for Devin there. He was on his way to a win there. Ricky Thornton grabbed the win. Friday night, back out in Arizona for another night of the Ernie Mincy early thaw. In the late models, Dylan Thornton was your winner. Modifieds went to Troy Morris III. Back to Volusia, night number 2 for the ASCS 360 Sprints. Justin Peck grabbed the win again. Scotty Thiel finished 7th, so one improvement from that. And in the UMP Modifieds, it was Cole Falloway grabbing the win. Lake City, Florida for the All-Tech Raceway Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, $12,000 to win. Ricky Thornton Jr. just kicked everybody's ass. He just did. He won by 8 seconds on Friday night. picking up the win there. Last night, the final night of the early thaw at Central Arizona Speedway, Dylan Thornton grabbed the win again. The modifieds went to Troy Morris III again. Barberville, Florida, Volusia Speedway Park, the final night of the ASCS 360 Sprints, $10,000 to win. Justin Peck won again. He clean swept him this year. He's in the Rudine Racing 26 car, and if they bolt the 410 in this week and have the performances they had in the 360, he's going to be tough to beat this year. Scotty Thiel ran again. He finished 6th. I'm not sure if they're putting a 410 in for the week or not. I know they plan on going down to Henry County Speedway for the King of the 360s later on in Speed Weeks. So we'll have to watch and see. The World of Outlaws take to the track at Volusia starting Wednesday through Saturday this week to open up their season for the World of Outlaws sprint cars. So in the UMP Modifieds, Cole Falloway grabbed the win. Cole Sarneski was there from Wisconsin. He finished 7th amongst the 78 cars were there. The Modifieds run 6 straight nights starting Monday at Volusia, and they plan on having another 20 to 25 cars add on to the 78 they already have there. So they're going to be well over 100 cars for this week.
Is that going to be Flow?
No, that is on Dirt Vision. Everything from Volusia is on Dirt Vision. And last night, finally, at Lake City, Florida, the final night of Lucas Oil Late Model Alert Series there, $15,000 to win. If you stayed up and watched it, it was late because they had a wet track. I think it was almost 12 o'clock when it was over. Devin Moran won. He put on a heck of a show, $15,000 to win. There were probably just short of a dozen lead changes. The track was choppy in spots, dry in spots. It was an absolute classic. Ricky Thornton Jr. was near the front, got clipped with 3 laps to go going for the lead and stuffed the front stretch wall. He said it was the hardest hit he ever had. But Devin Moran hung on for the victory there in the $15,000 win. The 604 crate. Yeah.
In that Lucas Oil race last night, where did the top 3 start for those guys that say you can't win from off the front row?
Oh yeah, they all started outside the top 10 here. I have to bring it up. I had it in front of me, and now I lost it. But it was incredible where they start. Here we go. Devin Moran started 11th and won. Jonathan Davenport started 13th and finished 2nd. Tyler Erb started 15th and finished 3rd. So yeah, lots of passing.
Impressive for a dirt race.
That is very impressive, yes. The undercard was the 604 crates. Cody Overton grabbed the $5,000 to win there. The Lucas Oil Series is off until Tuesday when they start 5 nights at the Corky Tri-Oval in Ocala, Florida. So it's kind of taking the place of East Bay this year. We'll see how well that is. That can be seen on Flow starting Tuesday night. And that is everything for this week.
And sitting in for the under-the-weather PJ Noodleman, who usually does these results from around the asphalt. But there's only one to give this week, the UARA Superfest, raced at Cordele, Georgia. By the way, we all said it wrong until PJ straightened us out on that one. Bubba Pollard was your winner. Johnny Sauter was down there, finished 7th. And Kendrick Cryer made the trip and had a problem and DNF'd. So that was all from Cordele. This week in super late model news, Ty Fredrickson, this year's Kawicki Series champion, has committed to the ASA Stars Series. He becomes the 13th that I counted commitment to the ASA Stars Series. So that's a pretty big deal. Also, we've got some racing coming up. If you're deciding which of the streaming services might be best for you, I'm going to say I think it's Flow. Everybody has their own that they particularly like, but starting this coming Friday on Flow, you'll see the new Smyrna racing, and they're racing down there for 8 nights, like 7 out of 8 nights. So it's going to be, you'll get your money's worth out of Flow this week. That's for sure.
And you get the ASA Stars race with your Flow subscription. ASA Stars is usually on, was it Track TV or one of those other streaming services? But because it's at Flow and because it's at New Smyrna and part of the NASCAR Weekly Racing Series event, that race will be on Flow next week, Tuesday.
Outstanding.
It's the 11th.
On the way down to Florida, there is a thing this coming Saturday. It's a super late model race at Citrus County Speedway, which apparently is in Florida, and I never heard of it. It's $10,000 to win. Where is it, Brian?
North of Tampa, probably about 45 minutes to an hour north of Tampa. I think it's like Iverness, Florida, they call it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's going to be this coming Saturday. And Ty Majeski is not going to race there. I don't know where it's televised. We think possibly Racing America. Is that what you guys said? Possibly.
I didn't see it on their schedule, though, so I don't know. It's a UARE type event.
Yeah, so it's one of the Ricky Brooks series. It's one of their races, which they usually have it somewhere.
Okay. So you'll find it. You just got to look for it, and maybe you have it, and maybe you don't. But it's kind of nice to have one of those streaming services. And I don't know. I think all three of us have Flow, don't we?
Yes.
So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on Flow, and New Smyrna is going to make it worthwhile this week. The real odd thing about the World Series of Asphalt, which is what they call that series, is that some of those features are just 35 laps, and that really seems to be not enough laps. Don't you guys think? It seems like there should be the minimum should be like 75 laps, but that's just an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The game is heading to New Orleans for Super Bowl win.
Let's go! We're going to the Super Bowl!
All shows every day.
Is this where the party's at?
Milwaukee's home for Super Bowl 59 is 97.3 The Game.
Welcome back. The last thing that happened to Bobby Allison before he died was to find out that he got that tie-breaking win, and it happened at Bowman Gray. Was that in 71, the last time they raced there?
I believe
can't
so.
remember for sure. It was pretty close. Either way, tonight's trophy has been named the Bobby Allison Trophy, which is pretty cool as far as I'm concerned. And so that'll be awarded tonight.
Fox did a special on Wednesday, and I don't know if you can find it online and see it. If you're able to catch it before the Clash tonight, it's really good. It's like about an hour documentary about the history of it, and they talk about how Bobby Allison ran that race. And back when they ran that race, they had like two different types of car. They had the Cup car, and then they had what now we know as the Xfinity Series car. And Bobby ran that type of car in that particular race because it was lighter and faster and won the race. And Bill France was all upset because he didn't run one of their types of cars, and that's why they didn't award him the victory. And they waited until this year to finally award it, and they go through how they brought it to him, and they actually interviewed Donnie Allison about it, and it was like, that bothered Bobby up until the very end. And when they finally went to the nursing home and presented him with the trophy, Donnie says that was like closure for Bobby, and after that he felt it was okay to finally go because that bothered him for so long. It's a really cool story. Fox did an outstanding job on it. Tom Rinaldi was the one who narrated it, so if you get a chance to see it, it's really good.
Outstanding. That's very cool. In other news, How many of you remember Bill Weber? He was one of the TV announcers back in the day. I don't remember. Was he with a specific network, Dan, or
TNT.
do we?
He was with TNT a lot, and I think he did some NBC. But I know he was the main guy for TNT when they had their races.
He disappeared one day. The word was he pissed somebody off really bad. I don't know what he did or said, or we never found that out. That's the way they want these things to be.
Happened at a hotel in New Hampshire where he got in an argument with somebody or got mad at somebody. It was before the New Hampshire race, and suddenly he wasn't on the air anymore.
And, there may have been alcohol involved. We don't know that. Things happen in hotels, bars sometimes. And either way, he passed away this week. I always liked Bill Weber. I thought he was really a cool announcer. But there were people that had real issues with the guy for some reason. There's sometimes more than meets the eye. But rest in peace to Bill Weber.
He was only 67 years old, too. I mean, that's the thing. It doesn't really say what happened to him, but yeah, he was only 67 years old. ESPN is where he was, I think, where he was most known well. I mean, he was always with the ESPN crews back in the day.
Really? I wrote that down just for the case it comes up again.
It said his broadcasting career ended in 2009 when he was replaced by Ralph Shaheen. And he worked as a magician in Florida. He was a magician.
That's pretty good. Made his job disappear. So by now you know the name Austin Cindric, and many of you will recall that Austin's dad runs Penske. He is the president of Penske Racing, and Tim Cindric announced this week that he's going to step back from his duties as overall president of Penske Racing. He is going to stay with the IndyCar team, but he is going to start reducing his duties as he heads towards retirement. And it's interesting, his kid is, I think if his goal was to make sure the kid had himself a pretty good job before he got out of there, well, he did. And Austin Cindric has been the driver of the number 2 car for the last couple of years and done won the Daytona 500. That had to be quite the day for Tim Cindric as much as Penske, but the fact that he's going to step back is kind of a big deal, and he is not going to be the guy there anymore. Other than that, we have a race tonight. We do not know who PJ is going to pick. If she wants to maybe post it on Facebook, if she happens to be listening.
My guess would be with Chris Buescher starting second.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Toby's telling her to pick Chris Buescher. So I would say let's just give her Chris Buescher.
All right. That's
unless she wants to change her pick, but that would be my guess, knowing history.
I am, as you probably are aware, there are guys I'm not as enthralled with as others, and that doesn't have a lot to do with why I would pick them to win a race. But, Joey Logano seems to be a guy that when they race somewhere for the first time manages to pull it out of his resume and win this. So I'm going to take 22 to win tonight. And let's go to Brian next. Who are you taking?
It's a flat track, and Denny Hamlin is really good there. And with all that's gone on in the offseason, Denny Hamlin probably cannot wait to win a race and go out in victory lane and talk, and then go into the press room and talk after that. So I'm going to go with Denny Hamlin, and he's going to have a lot to say.
And Dan, I'm going to say that Chase Elliott is sitting right there for you.
Yeah, I know he's on the pole, but I agree with you with Joey Logano. First dirt race at Bristol, he wins that. First race at the Coliseum, he wins that. Every time there's something new or nobody's been to before, somehow Joey Logano seems to pull it off. So I'm agreeing with you. And as far as Denny Hamlin likes to talk, he talked this week again too. They asked him about that provisional that Helio Castroneves is going to use for that, and he called it reeks of desperation. The guys that are, if they're so accomplished, you got to come over here and be able to prove themselves. That's pretty getting it out there.
He's not afraid to spit it right out and say what's on his mind, and that's. When you're going to spend your time hiring lawyers to go to court for you, that's a good thing. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Sorry if we never made it on the air. I don't think we did, so this will be podcast only. Well, it seems like we should have sworn or something just to make it for the podcast. But we do appreciate everybody tuning in. And what we really want you to remember is that real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey. And get well, PJ. We miss you. See you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.